Okay then. Today I'm just gonna do a couple of noodles because I don't have that much time and I'm very busy doing a lot of things. So I guess I'm gonna be just very quick. But I just finished a conversation with my partner. Um, we're building our consultancy company. Even I will say it's more of a consultancy. It's more than that, but we're trying to be like this huge ecosystem idea that we have and trying to put some solid ground into it and to actually build up something. And I want to get back into that conversation of being delusional, to which I think it's very important, and especially because I just had this thought while we were talking and discussing about this thing. We were discussing about some new ideas, some brand new projects that we want to build up, we want to create. Um, and he actually started the conversation because he had the idea. He has been messing around with this idea in his head throughout the last days. And this is very important. I think this was a brilliant moment for me to realize how I was thinking, what could have been saying, and how could I approach this entire situation. So we were discussing this new idea, this brand new project that we want to create, or that he wanted to create because he was proposing this. And a lot of things, a lot of the things that he was saying, many could say or argue that it was just crazy. He was just kind of getting this very fast or huge idea on the top of his mind, and he just wanted to say it out loud just to be able to realize whether it was something capable to made of. And as I mentioned in a previous video, that's part of being delusional. You're having an idea, you're having a thought that you have no idea whether it makes sense or not, but you have it and you kind of need to put it out there. And not everybody has a partner, not everybody has someone to be able to say these things out loud and to truly discuss this idea to whether realize if it's possible or not. We have that bless, I will say, because we share a common point on vision. We not always agree, but we do share a vision, or we do share a motivation and energy. So he was talking about this entire idea. He was talking about this brand new concept he wanted to work on. And I realized that a lot of the things that he was proposing, that he was saying right now, I felt it last year. I kind of went through a couple of those things. And I went through many of his frustrations and thoughts last year. But from frustration comes a lot of motivation as well. Because once you're frustrated, you get to realize there's a gap between where I am and where I want to be. So that's where this entire idea it's created, right? And when somebody comes to you speaking crazy things, being delusional, just having this idea, you have two choices. Whether you tell them they are delusional, they're completely crazy and out of their mind, or you just kind of put more fire into it, or pour more wood in a way just to set up the fire, right? It's kind of one and two. There's not really a middle point here. There's no middle point. Not really. Whether you're gonna help the person, whether you're going to ventilate or to just increase all of these crazy thoughts, or you're going to lower it down. It's one and two. And while he was saying all of this, he was sharing the entire project. I realized that a lot of the ideas I had last year were present, and I realized that a lot of my current standing point of view it's affected because of all the failure and all of the things that I had. But that doesn't necessarily have to happen now. These are completely different people. It's a different project and it's a different perspective. than the one that I was trying to apply last year. Now the conversation is different. Now the people are different. Now the motivation and I will say the knowledge behind the project or behind the idea is completely different. So I realized I had these two choices, whether I lower it down or I push this forward. And in improv classes, yes, I took improv classes, there is this concept, this kind of mythology that I think it's very important. The no but and yes and. Those are the two approaches. So whether you get to reject the proposals of your partners, of the people you're working with, you are improvising the entire situation, right? So whether you reject what they're proposing or you build on top of that. Now, the point of improvisation is that you usually shouldn't reject things because that's the entire point of improvisation. You're just leaning towards whatever's getting up, you know? But it's not easy to apply on every aspect, or not just every, it's not easy to apply on any other aspects in our lives. And I like this methodology because it's very important and it's actually a huge methodology to be applied on design thinking, to be applied on your own even new system ideas, or even if you're discussing habits or stuff like that. It's a very good methodology to be applied. Sorry, I just had to check on this. But it ain't easy. It ain't easy at all to truly apply this and to be aware of whether you're saying yes or you're saying no. Of whether you are improving someone's mindset or just lowering it down. And I just got to think about this because it was a beautiful moment. I had these two choices and I realized I've been there. I'm not sure if we can get there, if we can truly create that project, but I don't see the point on lower this idea down right now. I don't see the point of it. I don't see what would I win, what would he win if I say no, or even worse, if I try to put some details or I start to put some excuses and stuff like that. There's no point of it. I actually have an idea of how to build it. I actually have an idea of how far we can go. So why not? Why not? There's no real reason to lower these things down. If I am delusional, why he can't be delusional? And I like this. I like this because once again, it's a pathology. When you build up, you say, okay, I like your idea. I like what you're proposing. Let's do it. And let's build on top of that. I like your thought. I think we can actually improve that by adding up this top and this on top and this other new feature or stuff like that. And I'm not saying to get all branched out and to create a huge project out of nothing because this is only an idea. But when you have technical ideas, when you start to think about the how to do things, it's important to be able to say yes. Instead of saying you can't really do that or this is very extremely hard, you should say, you know what, I like it. Let's see how we freaking do that. Let's see how is that possible. Maybe it's not the way I was thinking about it. Maybe I need to find another way. Maybe we need to lower down a little bit our expectations, but that will help us to actually have something. And that's the point of the yes and. You build on top of it. It's a completely different perspective than just saying that seems impossible or that sounds crazy. I'm not sure of it. I don't think that's technically possible or stuff like that. This doesn't add up. It will only lower down the entire energy. And what do you win by lowering down the energy. There's nothing good at it. There's nothing good. The energy is important at the beginning to build. You need that to start creating. That's the moment where you don't need the no's. You do not need the excuses. It's the other way around. You need to be say yes. You need someone to tell you yes, and you need to tell yourself, yes, let's do this. And you're gonna be delusional, and it's probably gonna hurt. I've already said these things a couple of videos, but do it. The energy of the yes and to be multiplying things, not just adding up, to be multiplying things, it's what really helps you to build, to create, to do something new. And I'm not saying something new in the entire world, something new to you. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Once again, I have the bless to be able to share this with a partner, with someone that we share a vision. You probably don't have that. I don't know. You can share it here. You can share it maybe on social media, although you could get a lot of hate. But you could share it in the mirror. And it's gonna be tough because you're definitely going to try to look for excuses. That's your mind trying to stay in the comfort zone. That's discipline. And discipline is just that single moment. To be able to say yes to yourself, looking at the mirror and saying, this can be done. Not only it can be done, I can do it. I don't know how, but I can do it. And, this is just and I think I could add up this brand new thing that I just came up with. And I really like that. That is a creative process ongoing. And we should not forget that. We should not forget about the entire creation process. It's a very important one. I wish you the best. Thank you for listening. And have a lovely, lovely rest of the day.